Hey guys, so today I was due to be working out at the gym and instead I am here at our local branch of HSBC. You can see HSBC in the background now. I very rarely do a rant, very rarely do I do a rant, but today I am going to, because I have had to break off from my day. I have had to come here into branch. I've spent an hour and a bit in the branch just to transfer money to buy a property, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy that in this day and age you can't transfer. I only needed to transfer enough to buy a property. I have a 100 grand limit on my account, so I plan to do the final transfer today for the property, and we're completing later today. Perhaps I should have done the transfer later on in the week. I appreciate that, but this highlights for me I'll stop filming HSBC in the background now. This highlights for me a really important part of property investing. You have to be able to control your finances really easily and really quickly. So things like most bank accounts will have a limit of 10k on them. So you don't want to be trying to raise that limit when you need it. You want to be raising that limit in advance. So what we do is we have a 100 grand limit. It could actually be higher than that if you wanted it. I'm not sat in a random car, I'm sat on my car bonnet. So that's definitely something you want to do. You want to raise your bank account limit. The other thing that I'm now doing, and I've never done this before, it's never been necessary, is to have more than one bank account for each company. Now that might sound like a lot of additional paperwork, and yes, it's going to have additional costs, but it's important, I think, especially if you're going to be buying a property. So the solicitors will normally require the funds to come from a bank account in the name of the limited company that's buying the property. In most purchases now we do using an SPV, special purpose vehicle. So if you know you're going to be using an SPV to purchase a property, some of the challenger banks can just turn your account off really quickly, and of course you can't go into a branch and then all of a sudden you're trying to open a bank account in a hurry. The good guys here at HSBC, they are taking about 3 weeks to open a bank account. Well, you could lose a sale in 3 weeks, and it is that draconian and it is that difficult. So my suggestion is you open 2 bank accounts at the same time as opening your SPV, and then you've got more flexibility. So if one bank account, like we sometimes use Cash Plus, they can open a bank account in about 10 minutes, which is great, but they've got a 50k limit on their accounts. And if you want to put more than 50 grand into the account, which you normally do for a property purchase, not always, you need to send off a load of ID, you need to send them a business plan, it has to be reviewed by a person. So all of a sudden, that isn't that quick. So we might open a Cash Plus account and a high street bank account, so you've got 2 options for making payments. So yeah, just a really quick rant. It's not just about HSBC. We've had similar issues with Royal Bank of Scotland. I've had similar issues with Barclays as well, actually. So I think just being aware that banking is now, that they are so fastidious with all of their checks, they are so scared of being the victims of fraud. I think the pendulum's swung a bit too far the other way, and unfortunately, because we are property investors, we are dealing in large sums of money. We've not always paid those accounts previously, and so just being aware of that, have your ducks in a row in advance. Transferring your funds to your solicitors in advance is not a bad idea either. I was a bit slow. Having said that, we only agreed to buy it on Friday. Like, the completion was agreed on Friday and today's Monday, so it's not like we had it ages and ages sat around. I got the completion statement this morning, I started transferring funds, and then we hit across this problem. So not everything's foreseeable, but I think if you're aware of it, and yes, I just had to pop into a branch, I had to give up my gym session and go and make the payment. So these things are solvable, but if you can preempt them, if you can put measures in place like having 2 bank accounts, it really helps. There you go, rant over. Until next time, happy investing.